How's it going, everyone? Hope everybody's doing good. I cannot see anybody texting in the chat. Can somebody send a text in the chat or something? We are live and we want to go over price section today because we got TTrades over here, our friend. Trades mostly price section, and we're going to introduce him to a bit of the way that we trade and ask him how he trades as well. Let me just take a look at the chat. I don't see any messages in the chat so far. Can anybody even text in the chat? All right, let's just quickly go over BTC for now. And yeah, before we do, how are you doing, TT? Or what should I refer you to as? Like TT
You
sounds a
can just
bit.
call me T.
Yeah,
You
T.
can just call me T. Yeah,
How's it going?
that works. It's doing well, man. Quite a
Good,
busy week for me,
good to know.
so it's good to
I,
chill out.
I think I've seen your stories. You've been traveling so far?
Yeah, I know we were gonna see if we could link up in Dubai or something, but I wasn't. And then you went to Asia,
Yeah.
but I was in Italy and Europe. So,
Yep. And how's it going like trading wise? How do you handle like trading while traveling? Cause for me, when I was trading like straight up for 2 years, it became in a way that I because my strategy was in a way that I had to be like pretty much active on the screen all the time. It was mostly lower time frame related, so I had to be at the screen looking at a chart like this, 15 second, 1 minute or 5 minutes, and have a higher time frame POE as well. But when you're traveling, you're exploring things. It becomes a bit hard to like manage all of these because I'm not a mobile trader. I'm more of a computer or a sit down desk guy. So it for
mhm.
me became like very hard to like manage trading, and my time was limited to the screen for like 4 hours maybe, or like 3 hours a day. So that like really took a toll on me. So I had to like take a break. How does that differ for you? How do you like find traveling and trading to be compatible or not?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely more difficult than just being at home and trading. But for me, my system, I just go up to the higher time frames and it stays relatively the same. So that's just what I've been doing. Um, Let me see one thing real quick. This low is looking.
Yeah, this low's looking decent so far. The so far for me, price is not like looking to break down anytime right now. It looks pretty. These are I've been like long biased this entire week, and this looks like it's
Mm,
pretty much holding the lows into this like specific higher time frame. I had this low marked up for quite a long time. For me, the way I look at the higher time frame, you probably draw like use mostly FVG order blocks and rotations. For me, if I want to
hmm
like use rotations, I mostly mark volume profiles and look for like AMT rules and regulations for rotations. So far, it doesn't look so bad as long as we can like hold this specific low. To me, this is an extreme POI, and I'm not sure if you're aware of like how I mark out extreme POIs. I'm definitely you definitely have kept up, but I'll try to give you an overview. What I really look for whenever I'm marking out like extreme POIs, and people had this question for so long, is like I usually look for an order block, and order block is just supposed to be the last move down before a continuous move up or the last candle
Yeah.
down. And I try to mark out the zero point 0.5 supposed to be supposedly the
So
equilibrium of that order
yeah, we do
block.
that the same.
And
So
yeah, it's
for
not,
me, I
yeah,
just call it a sorry. For me, I just call it a protected swing. So the one you have marked out, just because it swept those lows to the left.
yeah.
That one at what is it like one oh
You
two
can actually
two?
draw on my screen, by the way. You can like, there should be
No
a
way.
pen tool. Yeah.
Wait, let me see if I can find that. How do I do that?
There should be a pen tool on the bottom left of your screen if you're using Zoom from the
Oh yeah,
desk.
yeah.
Yeah. You can just like mark
Yeah,
that
so
out.
I do the same where like this point of interest here, right?
Yeah.
Because it swept out this low to the left, 50% of this level here, I'll use that.
Yeah.
So real quick, I just TP'd a little bit of my position on my
On the
short.
short, I personally, the
Yeah.
position that I am in, let me go back to the lower time frame real quick. Doesn't look so good for bolts at the moment, the way it like broke down real quick after that hold the flow. But personally, I was in a long all the way from like this level right here. I'm looking to short. I missed the short because I wasn't on the screen. I'm definitely looking to
hmm
short. Maybe like the higher POI right here. And I'll explain like how I really mark out POIs, because I look for 2 or 3 more certain stuff when I'm marking out POIs. But I'm hoping that
Hmm.
we could like get a bounce from either sweeping these lows, or probably just like chop out here and like bounce up from here to the upper POI. And back to, I was explaining like the POI, the way I mark POI is pretty similar to you.
Yeah.
I just have like some additional confluences that I like to see whenever I'm marking out like POIs. Um, Wait, did somebody said they cannot hear you? Can you guys hear T in the back? Can somebody text?
Yo.
I think people can hear T in the back. Let me see real quick. Yeah, you should be. Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah, they
say I
can. Yeah,
can.
okay. That's good. Okay, I was explaining like how I mark the POI. It's not just the 0.5 that I mark out for the order block. I usually look for a FVG or an imbalance that could somewhat overlap that as well. That just
Hmm.
provides me a bit of a clarification that okay, there could be like some bid or ask imbalances, and the reason why I give that importance to the FVG overlapping is because if you take a look at an order flow candlestick, it's usually filled up with like buys on the right side and sells on the left side, which I guess I could show you just here. If you take
Like a
a
footprint chart?
Yeah, so if you take a look at the
Yeah, I
footprint
know a
chart
footprint
right
chart.
here, usually what I look for is like imbalances. And for the people that don't know, imbalances somewhat look like I would need to have a better example right here, somewhere here. Mm, Probably like this one here. This is supposed to be like a sell imbalance. So if you have like 2 or 3 overlapping imbalances in a footprint chart, that is like something that I definitely look for. And that is supposed to be like a lot of orders that like provided that imbalance in the market. And that is usually representable in an FVG imbalance candle. That is why I like try to overlap that level with the price action order block and FVG as well. So these are like 2 or 3 things that I look for. The first is like order block, second is like FVG, third is like just observing if there is like a bid or ask imbalance just sitting at that level. And if like those overlap, it's going to be like a very decent PI, because like what that does is that leads to a very quick reaction for price. For me, what I've seen, what I've experienced, and that quick reaction is like very vital whenever I'm trying to like limit in. Most of the time, I don't limit in. I'm more of a market like entry trader, like a chase limit
Hmm.
or just execute whatever I see on the lower time frame. Do you like limit in most of the time? Is that something you
I
look to do?
I rarely limit in. I normally market because I prefer to just like I don't really trade the reversal. I just trade the continuation. So like for instance, if you're looking for your point of interest to react, I just
Yeah.
let that V shape form and then trade that
Yeah,
continuation that's like
yeah,
right after it.
like similar for me. The way I execute limits would be like I only execute limits like 15% of the time, or out of all my orders. Most of them
Hmm.
are supposed to be like chase limits, and I'm pretty sure like some guys are not aware of like chase limits. And chase limit is a sort of order that you can execute either on like in Silica terminal or some other terminal. The way it executes is it executes as a market order, straight up gives you an entry, but is like supposed to be a limit order. So it gives you the fees of a limit order and gets executed as a market order. So that's pretty good. And what I do is like I just let like price come to the POI and give that sort of first reaction. Usually, if it's like a strong trend, let's just say we are trending higher into some prior bearish POI, but the current market price trend is like much stronger than the prior trend. I don't really take the trade on the first reaction. I'd like to see like a high hold most of the time, even before a break structure. That provides me like additional confidence that okay, the bids are pretty much fading out. The asks are in control. We don't have will to go much higher, so that could be like a potential entry for me. I used to like limit a lot back in the day, and fade a lot, but I guess the market for crypto and overall the market it isn't like that compared to like 2021, 2022. So I found continuation setups to be like much easier and much more workable. Is why I like try to trade based off of reaction these days. How do you like trade continuation entries? I guess that's something that you do a
Yeah,
lot,
I
right?
mean, if you want to go to Bitcoin, I can just show you.
Yeah,
Um, well, like if you go to like the 15 or 30, I can just show you the short I
yeah,
took.
real quick. Let's just go here, I guess. 15
Yeah.
minutes.
So like I just trade higher time frame swing points. So if you look at the daily, like we formed that swing point to trade lower. Um,
You can
Let me
draw on
pull
my
up
chart,
my,
yeah.
yeah, so if you pull up the daily,
Pull the
I forget
daily,
that I
yeah.
can draw on, and zoom in to like the most recent swing, right? Like we have this swing point here. So I'm just viewing this as if we can form a lower high in the market, I just look to try to trade to the making a lower low. So this
Yeah.
basically tells me once we form this this swing point candle, I'm just looking to trade this day short and then this day short. So for instance, that's why I'm bearish today. And so like if you go into the 15-minute chart or the 30-minute chart, I can show you the
Yeah,
short I
for
took.
sure. Um,
So all I did was, I don't know how to clear these drawings. Wait.
let me just clear
All
it
right.
for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all I did was this is that daily swing right here. So that's the daily swing point. We have a SMT with ETH
Yeah.
right there. And then this was the short yesterday where it's like this is a continuation on that day. And then it's the same here where we retrace and I'm just looking to trade this continuation lower.
Yeah.
So that's the whole idea to trade lower. And then if all I'm looking for is like a sweep or a point of interest, so for price to go into a fair value gap imbalance, sweep out a high. And so if you go to the 15-minute or 30-minute there and you zoom in, we swept out those highs. Um, you're gonna have to zoom in like pretty
Yeah.
close. But see how we swept out this high right here,
This one right here.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I just short that and my stop is like basically this high, right? So I short once it sweeps, looking, I can target into these lows, but my main thing I'm looking for is just these down here. So I took some partials right here when we just made a new low
Yeah.
on the lower time frame chart. And now I'm just holding the rest from 103 for this low. And then I think there's another swing to the left. I can't remember. I literally woke up, was
Got
on the
it.
toilet and took a short. So,
Yeah. Something that I personally look for whenever I'm trying to trade, especially BC, you know how choppy it can be anytime. It's like I had a pretty similar idea for short on the higher time frame. I even posted it on my Twitter. That is like my idea was like, okay, we were I think we were around this specific low, and we were like, okay, we're gonna hold this like high, sorry, low, because if we really break down, there's no sort of like range that happened all the way in this gap right here. So we're likely to rotate all the way down to prior range and then start ranging again, because price
hmm
seeks balance. And we did really pump up from there. And my idea was we sort of like end up as a lower high somewhere here, get back up. I think this is a daily FVG somewhere here. And we get back into the daily FVG, get a reaction from there, and go all the way down. That was supposed to be my chart. My chart was like, we're gonna just like execute this. But what really changed a bit for me was the moment it like came here and then started to hold this low. It was like it started to become a bit more choppish for me, because what BDC does most of the time is like whenever it's trending and it somewhat like sticks to a pivotal low or a pivotal high, and then it starts to somewhat compress, and it doesn't break any high, it doesn't break any low. It somewhat forms a reversal, which is like very tricky to trade sometimes. I tend to believe, which is like whatever that sort of like compression breaks into is going to be the leading direction regardless. So if you do continue to hold on to these lows and then sort of seek momentum, I'm not positioned for a long for a rotation all the way back up just yet, nor am I positioned for a short for a rotation all the way back down just yet. I'd like to believe that a better trade would come up the moment we hit like momentum into the market, the moment it's like easier for us to like just grind into some direction. That for me is like a much easier trade than just like stressing over the current chart, how it's holding lows and then just going back up and just doing random bullshit, right? If you take a look at the chart, it's like so far it's trending down, pretty nice shorts, likely go much lower. but the moment it starts to stall, hold lows, it's just indication that okay, there's some struggle to the trend, which we don't want to see. If the trend is really strong, we want to see like continuous momentum into it, like a sequential lower high, lower low strategy, just like breakdown,
Yeah.
something that looks like this, especially emphasis on this price action right here that
Yeah,
looks
just breaking down.
yeah, just continuous slow grind. That to me represents like TVAP is like a much easier trade than just like stressing over like compression,
Yeah.
because for now it's like lows are haven't broken, highs haven't broken, and yeah, that's something that I really put emphasis on.
Yeah. Something on your chart that's interesting is like this is my favorite point of interest is when you have that V shape and then you have a consolidation. Because then when like I use that as a point of interest to trade away from. Like yeah, I don't I can give you a really good example of that. I called it out. If you go to silver SI one
Yeah, we can open
exclamation point.
silver
I don't know if you have
exclamation.
or SI
Yeah.
one exclamation. But if you go to the hourly chart on that, whenever you
Oh
get
my
up
god. SI
one
one exclamation, sorry.
or yeah, one and then the
Exclamation.
exclamation.
Yeah, silver futures, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Not sure why it's not loading up.
Or you could do the CFD, whatever works. It should all be relatively the same. Or
I
I
just
mean like
yeah, I'm not sure why
silver.
it's not
Just maybe
loading up.
type in silver.
Silver.
SILVA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just stuck now. That's crazy.
weird. But
Not sure why that's happening. Yeah, you can just like go on. I will just wait for
yeah.
the chart to load up.
But essentially that's what wait, I can just find a link real quick and send it. It's like the whole idea. Or if you just go to my Twitter, it's my most recent post.
Yeah, just we'll just go to your Twitter. This one right here.
Yeah, if you just look at the point of interest inside that, it's just because we form a nice V shape with a low, and then we have a consolidation. So when price returns, like that's my like favorite point of interest. You see that like where it's just those V shape on the low, and then
Yeah,
we have that those lows.
right around this level right here,
Yeah. So yeah,
and there's like some consolidation and then continuation
yeah.
there. Right. So you look for
So I
like
always
a sweep of those lows afterwards. Is that something that you look
yeah,
for?
S- yeah. That's like my favorite setup.
I think I
So
have a chart on this in my Discord as well. Let me just show you real quick. Something that probably similar to what you just like represented.
yeah, let me see.
Um, I think it's this, probably something like this.
Let me see.
Similar to it, but not exactly the same. This is a setup that I use a lot whenever there's like a range deviation. We come into a prior PI, or it could be a deviation, and then we somewhat like chop
Yeah.
into it, and then we come back into it.
No, it's exactly that.
Sweep
Once we
that.
sweep out that
Yeah,
low, yeah.
sweep that. There's supposed to be like higher low continuation, or reclaim back into prior range, and that's setup that I
Yeah,
target.
once you close back in, just trading that continuation with your
Yeah.
stop. It's
Something that
pretty
I
chill.
really put an emphasis on whenever I'm like getting into trades like this is again like just slow grind. That's the easiest way to like just enter the market, because it just represents okay, it's not you that's moving the market, it's the market itself. It wants to go up, and you can just like grind up or ape into the position.
S-
Just keep
See,
getting into the
that's
TVAP and shit.
I see that with like Bitcoin and other things, which is why it's a bit different for me. Because when I'm trading index futures like
Yeah,
Nasdaq or ES,
I don't
like
think yeah.
they they are like the opposite. Like you don't want to see that.
I,
When you see that, it like revisits and then it goes.
Yeah, that's
So let's
like for crypto especially, I believe this to be like the primal setup that you can trade, especially for majors like Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'd like to classify these as well. Only for like Ethereum and like BTC, I recommend to just like ape in into these setups. But if you're looking at like either major alts or even like lower alts, I guess what really happens is that you grind up, and then there's a sweep, and then there's some
yeah.
sort of like liquidity grab, and then that like sends up stuff.
See,
So if you
that's a classic index futures move.
so if you want to like yeah, if you want to be trading like altcoins, then I guess you go for this. When I was actively trading like Euro USD, I used to be trading like this setup most of the time, just ignoring whatever's going on, because I believe like this setup to be is like much more beneficial for these pairs, because these pairs are very PvP, and we I mean, this is a PvP setup as well, but the PvP somewhat seems to be different compared to the index futures and the altcoin setups right here, because in like this grind up, what's basically happening is there's a lot of volume that's being accumulated, usually some OIs ramping up as well, and the slow grind just seems to like accumulate more and more shorts. I believe this is like the level of maturity of traders that are especially trading BTC and Ethereum. Most of them I consider to be like retards, where they just like accumulate shorts into a grind up, and
Yeah, and then
for
they
that,
get
yeah,
destroyed.
yeah, and that's why we don't really get a liquidity sweep on like these pairs, because that's
Because
sort
it
of
gives
like,
them a chance to get
yeah,
out.
accumulation
Yeah.
of like liquidations, and then that just like boom ramps up. This is very common on BTC and Ethereum. It happens pretty much all the time. We trade it every single day, and this is like a difference that I believe a lot of traders don't understand for peer-to-peer differentiation, and how the market itself like matures or is immature. What is your stance on that? Do you think like that's something
So,
that people should understand?
I mean, so the thing with that is like that's a little bit more foreign to me because the assets that I trade, they tend to. Here, wait, I can close my drawings too.
Yeah,
Something. Oh, you just, I don't even know. Like Nasdaq, the other assets I trade generally sweep, then go. So it's like when I see a bunch of failure swings or like that slow grind, I'm usually waiting for those to get taken out. Then I'm looking for an entry. So like for my Bitcoin short today, like I wouldn't have gotten on side if it just slow grinded and then went down. Like I needed that sweep, if that makes sense.
usually I tend to like skip out sweeps on BDC, especially specifically for the reason that like continuation just works better on BTC, because like uh the way I traded BTC over a very long period of time is like for BTC especially back in the day. I guess like if we go to the daily time frame, just before this like continuous bid in the market hit, I guess like all the way, if we run back all the way to like 2022, just before like FTX blowed out, sweeps were very common. Sweeps were like supposed to be the primal setup for BTC. I believe that was more related to how the markets were traded again by participants. How like I would classify this as like pair differentiation. For every pair, there is supposed to be like a different set of like traders and how they view the market. And FTX like blew out somewhere around this low right here. I guess this is the nuke that like FTX blew out. And just before this, PA all the way, I guess even from like here, I think FTX like green attention here was like a lot of the times like the sweep pairs, like the sweep setups were like the best setups that you could ever get. We would sweep into high, we would like go all the way down, sweep, and there's like multiple sweeps. Every time there was supposed to be like a sweep. Continuation setups were put emphasis on, but the sweep setups were like a very sweet spot to be trading. That was something that would occur pretty much all day, every day. And I guess that's more related to the participants that actually trade the market according to that pair. And that's something that I observed. But after the FTX like just swept out, blowed out, I think Celsius and a lot of like crypto hedge funds and overall funds and trading floors just like wiped out all the way down to like 16K. Most of that like strategy of like fade and sweep on Bybit just like faded out, which is still present to this day, but it's like more complex. You need to like look at like Binance Flow as well. Whenever you're trying to like fade on the footprints, because a very classic mousetrap is to just like look for buys just like keep aping into the highs, but then immediately there's a shift
Yeah.
in the market. This was like very common just before all of those funds like blew out, and after that shift happened, this suddenly like died out. I guess like again due to the traders that trade that specific pair, and this is like very observable if you're trading a specific pair for a long period of time. uh Going over that, how long have you been trading, T?
5 years, 5 years, 4 years, somewhere in there.
And how old are
Started
you?
trading like right after 24.
That's pretty cool. And you started
Yeah.
out with like what, index funds and
Options. So like
Options,
equities, options. Yeah.
right? And you didn't seem to like continue options, or did you just find price action to be like much more
I
easier?
was just a degenerate, bro. I was a degenerate,
That's
so
crazy. Yeah,
it didn't
I
work.
tried my like fair share of like arc into options as well, but it was like a bit too I mean, I could still hedge.
It is
Yeah,
complex.
it's pretty complex. You can either be like you can either be a jack of all trades or you can master one. So I just like found price action to be like much easier because it's tradable pretty much all over the market. Options, you need to be more active. You need to be a bit more smarter than I currently am to be able to trade options. Maybe in the near future, when I am tired of like price action trading, I'll probably hop onto options because options is like a pretty cool like thing to look into. But for me, because I started out trading when I was like 16, so for me, like options is something that I probably need like better education before I started out. For a high schooler, I guess like I found options to be like too much, and then I just gave up on them basically.
Yeah, but I mean, it's options is like pretty complex. It's not like, oh, you buy and if it goes up, you win. It's like you can you can lose even when you're right on the direction.
Yeah,
So that's what kind of sucks.
true.
Sorry,
Uh,
I'm just managing this position real
Ash
quick.
said, "Isn't that turtle two pattern? Do you trade ICT? Do you trade just lower price action? What do you trade?
I mean, ICT concepts, yeah, but like I simplify it a lot down to where it's like it's not that deep, you know.
Yeah,
It's just I just trade swing points. So on multiple time frames. So like today, this whole Bitcoin short that is probably gonna go stop me out on my runners is it's a daily swing point into a 4 hour swing point into an hourly swing point. So
yeah.
that's it. And
I
then I just
I also believe that it doesn't have to be that complex. It doesn't have to be that difficult as long as just you understand that. Like I believe that it's just a few things. That if you understand the market just like ranges all the time, like 70-80% of the time, and trends only like a few 20-30% of the time, that's something that you gotta look for. And if you understand that like the market only trends up or it trends down, so that's a continuation setup. That's something you can like
mhm.
learn, or it like fades high or a swing point or a swing low, and then that's the sort of reversal that you want to be looking for. I guess that's pretty much it. Every other ideology just
Yeah.
revolves pretty much around these three concepts. We got a question in the chat. Have a question for both. I can say I understand my strategy better now, but I still find myself stuck in a break-even stage, and also cannot pass a prop challenge. What's an advice you got for me?
You want to go or you want me to go?
I let you go.
Yeah, so I would say you just got to journal all your trades and figure out what is in common with most of your losing trades. And then you just remove that. So, like for me, how that worked was I lost most of the reversal trades I tried to take. So I just removed reversals from my
Yeah,
strategy.
that's something that happened to me. That is very similar to what I went through. Most of my L's were just fading the trend. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a long here. Boom, that stopped out. I'm gonna take okay. If I like see price stall into like a higher low, or just fading the current market price, is where like a lot of people end up in losses. Where you realize. You want to realize that you are like right on the direction instead of making money. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna bottom tick this. That's not the bottom. Then you realize, okay, I'm gonna bottom this, tick this again. That's not the bottom. Or even if you try to bottom tick it, what happens is like it runs your stop, then probably runs up. This was like an insufferable time for me when I had to realize I have to like give up on the reversal patterns and just hop onto continuations, because they just like move with the market, much less stressful trades, and they just happen to like work out. And the way I like got over this as well was like I used to post like trades ever since I got onto Twitter back in like I think 2021, end of 2021. I posted like every single trade I have ever taken. Maybe a few I didn't post, and I used to see like, okay, if I went right, how did like that happen as well? If I went wrong, how did that happen as well? So I just like look at my public posting of trades, and I realized anytime I took an L or it went wrong, that was when I was trying to be right, instead of against the entire market. Because I guess this is more related to like ego as well at some point, where you believe that you are better than pretty much like everybody else. You will catch the bottom or the top, and then you realize you want to be like perfect. You have this like ideology that you will be better or right than pretty much like everybody else. But that just leads
Yeah, you're not
to
gonna be right.
yeah, yeah, that just leads to like an endless losing streak, and then suddenly you realize, okay, you fucked up your entire account and you need reevaluation.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, T. Hey T, big fan.
Yeah.
I'm using your TTFM, offer C2
Mhm.
reversal on daily for C3 and C4 candle. I
Do you want me to just share my screen and go over
yeah,
this?
I'm just
I
gonna
can
like
kind of show my
I'm
model too.
yeah, I'm gonna let you share your screen actually. Give me a second.
Yeah, let's see. Um, all right, here should be good for that.
Let me
Yeah.
pull out your stream real quick. Okay, we can see your screen.
What was the question again?
The question was that, hey T, big fan, I'm using your TTFM, upper C2 reversal on daily for C3, and C4 candle on daily for. It's a pretty complex question. I'm just gonna write
Yeah.
it in
Okay.
the chat really
I
quick.
got it. I got
Uh,
it. I think. So here I'll just do a quick explanation of my strategy,
yeah,
and so you can see I just have an indicator built for my strategy. So essentially the way it works is these green boxes. This is where I'm looking to buy. These gray ones. This is where I'm looking to sell most of the time. And so his question is, hey, once we have a daily setup, so what does that mean? It just means I'm having that daily swing point. So earlier I was talking about Bitcoin, we had this swing high on the daily chart,
yeah,
and I'd be looking to sell this day and sell this day, right? He's
right,
just saying I'm using the hourly and 5 minutes. So this is the same, this pattern here is what I use on all time frames. So like I'll use this on the daily to get a bias in here. And then essentially what I'll do is I'm just going to repeat that. So like yesterday, I would just go down into this area that I'm looking to sell, go to the 5 minute, and then I want to take a bearish setup with that. So his question is, hey, do I need to let the lower day or high day form first? And that's ideal because if you don't have something that you think is going to be the wick of the daily candle, then this is bound to run higher before you get another short.
right.
So for instance, this would be my short there. But yeah, like I'll just really quickly go over my short today was just I mean, I'm still in it right now, holding some, but essentially we have a daily swing point, so I'm just expecting this to go lower. This closes lower, so
Yeah,
when price retraces up to here and we form this reversal, I'm expecting that to be the daily wick. So then I'm expecting this to continue lower. And then that's why I just went in here 15 minute. And funny enough, I'm trading futures contracts. Futures contracts sweep this out, but I just then entered short right in here. And I just put my stop like right, it was like right in here. And I took some out here.
yeah.
And then now I'm holding the rest
What do you think
for
about like
these
partials?
lows.
Do you emphasize on partials, or is that something that you try to avoid?
I tend to avoid them if I'm super confident in something. Like if I'm really confident in price going to this low, then it's like, why would I remove myself from a
And
9 hour
what's
trade?
like what's something that brings confidence to your trade?
That's like when I have a very clean higher time frame setup. So for instance, you know, if I have a framework like here, I'll go over on silver. If I have this framework down here, what I was talking about, where we have that V shape, right?
Yeah,
And then this kind of move away, and then we can't make this new high. So then we sweep this out. I have like
right.
a very strong framework for this to go to the upside here, and then to this previous month's high
Is
up
that
here. So
something that is like specific for index and metals or forex, or is it something
no,
that you?
it'll be anything. It's just if I'm very confident on the higher time frame framework to trade to like this level,
Right.
it doesn't make sense if I take a trade in here to, you know, partial out and get out of my position like this. You know what I mean? Like
True. True.
I should hold this trade to my actual idea.
Yeah.
And then this is where it can make sense to partial, and then you can hold runners for what? Like those really
Yeah.
higher time frame
So,
objectives. Like
something that I put emphasize whenever trying to like share about partials or take partials or hold fully position is that I need the market overall because I'm mostly trading crypto and Bitcoin. I need the market overall
Hmm.
to just like have a higher time frame trend that's following, and then a lower time frame trend that's around supposed to be the lower time frame POI. And if I have something that like is supposed to be around my setup, and then there's like some momentum grind into it, I just like ape full size into the trade. And whenever it goes like 1 hour up or 2 hour up, I just like let that develop. As long as there's like momentum, like higher low continuous trend that's like keeps forming, I just like extend my TPs to like prior PYs. And if it like doesn't break down or gives any sort of reactions into that as well, I just keep extending my POIs, sorry, my TPs into that trend. Because why would you like fade the market? The market is
Yeah.
like wanting to go up. That's something that really works out. And even better that you add to those entries. That has been like my most profitable setup in my entire career.
Yeah, I agree with adding. It's just in those specific scenarios where you can actually anticipate the trend. Like right here in this Bitcoin short I'm in, like I can't really anticipate because here's the thing is like I consider this like a point of interest to like a strong low,
Yeah,
right?
you know the thing about like
So,
yeah, you know the thing about this specific pair is that like
hmm.
this is something that I guess like we could like observe if like it works out or not, and we could like later come back to review this. Is like this is what the chart looks like,
Hmm.
right? So we have a potential FVG that's like sitting below, or a liquidity that's like sitting below this low right here, the way it's like
Hmm.
represented right here.
Yeah.
And what happens with like the way you trade index and other stuff is like it sweeps and then it goes much higher.
Yeah, it
But
would be
compared
like
to
that.
yeah, but compared to like BTC and Ethereum, the way I've observed it, it just like it either like like touches it, or pretty much just like considers that like low to be a higher low, and then just like runs higher from it. This is what like
Yeah.
this is where I like tend to partials. If I'm in a short from here, if I'm in a short from here, whenever it starts to hold the lows into some prior low, I tend to like take partials. That's the only time where I
Yeah.
realize okay, it's like going against my, let's just say I'm short here, it's going against my like entry, then I tend to partial. Or if it just like suddenly starts to like reverse into my trade is where I tend to partial. Except for that, I
Yeah.
tend to believe into like adding into position, because you want to be profitable over time. You don't want to like cut out your positions very early on. That is not profitable
Hmm.
in my opinion.
Yeah. So like in here, this is like if we could hold this level here, because like I'm just viewing this as this little sweep point of interest, we could get another reaction. But like
Yeah.
I would ultimately want to see this fail. And like
Yeah.
I'll show you the way I take entries is pretty simple for the most part. I'm just using uh closures through up close candles. So like once we close through there. And that's why I just took that entry there and I put my stop up there. And then this is a continuation. This is a continuation. And so then now I'm obviously just holding
Looks
this
pretty
runner,
good so
right?
far. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a question, like question for T. Let's say I get on a continuation trade using a higher time H4 M15 fractal, and also the trade is moving. Can I scale into the trade using H1 M5 fractal too?
Yeah. So essentially what they're talking about here is like using essentially like a swing point on the 4 hour chart, right? And that's
Yeah,
kind of what I did here is like I see that this swing, I'm expecting this to hold. And so then this candle is bearish. I'm expecting this candle to continue lower. So
yeah.
open high, this is making that wick. So I then went from this and I just went down one time frame to look at the 5 minute. And then the structure was pretty easy to just short there. And then now we're into these lows. So this is a pretty good first trade
Yeah,
on.
I'm currently I have a like just before starting the stream, we both were short. My short entry is like 100 to 758. That's
Minus
supposed to be the
103.
yeah, it's supposed to be the grind that happened like around here just before the breakdown, because I put more like much more emphasis on like momentum and the way price grinds, because that's where I see okay, there's flow into the market going good. Just
Yeah.
let it happen.
So
Um
I honestly may just because I have stuff to do with my days later too. And this is like a good spot for me to take out of my position because when we have a daily candle that has like a very long wick, I'll see how it reacts here. But a lot of times this is where I want to take off my position because I'm not expecting a daily candle that has already did most its range to really drop. So a lot of times this is like the area that I'm looking to just get out of this, which it's at like 6 or 7 hours. So I'm pretty content with
Yeah.
that, you know?
There's another question in the chat. Hey, Shini and TT, any strategy advice for uncertainty in the market for the last couple days? Um, there's a lot to be explored when you refer to uncertainty. That could be like just like you not understanding what's going on. It could be
Hmm.
subjective as well. Like if price is going up, and you consider that uncertainty, then you probably don't know how to trade the trading market. But I'd like to believe the uncertainty would be that it's just compressing. It's doing pretty much nothing.
Hmm.
That would be uncertainty for me. And the way I trade is just like I put more emphasis. Okay, we retrace that real quick. Did we sweep that low?
Yeah, I exited my position right there.
Let me
Just
see.
because
HR. I don't
damn, that
think
was a fire exit.
yeah, that we didn't really sweep that specific low that we were looking for.
Yeah.
Probably it probably got rejected again. If we go to a bit
The
lower on the 1 minute, let me just
yeah, we
delete
can go
my
look
screen real quick. Okay, it just like reject. What is like this candle
to
right
the
here?
left.
Is that yeah, to the right? Is that your indicator?
Oh, well, yeah, that's my indicator. So this is the
Right.
daily candle. This is 4 hour candles.
Okay, okay. Right. That was a pretty quick retrace. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
If we just like hold this I we could like reject again. But I personally
Yeah.
this is something that I'd be looking for, grind into the highs. Just it is supposed to be like a flip for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm out of my position now, so it is what it is. I I'm trading on the futures chart, so it's like MBT. And so if I look, right, like I was using kind of that level and then the daily open as my point of interest for shorting from here, that sweep down into this level. And that's that. That's kind of
Yeah.
it for me. I just wanted to see the reaction. Like the thing is, I'll do this sometimes, especially on pairs I don't know that well, is right here. If we would have just sunk through that level, I'm like, all right, fine, I'll just hold this. But when we just kind of hesitate and we had that nice reaction off of it, then I'm just
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll just close my position.
Yeah.
So, but um but yeah,
Um
that's really all for my short today is it's just
do
trading this
you like tend to
continuation.
overtrade or just like one trade a day, boom, out?
Yeah, I just rip one trade a day, or none. It kind of just depends.
That's pretty cool. Something I
We're
believe like a lot of people have to understand that they don't have to overtrade. They
yeah,
just like risk bigger on a trade that is
one. Yeah.
yeah, like that is very familiar to you. That is something that you
See,
understand. Okay, and you
see, this is
just like die it
this
out.
is what
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, so this is what I should have traded today. The only thing is, I was like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing this stream. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch Bitcoin.
Shit.
Um, my approach is like the way I consider highs and lows protected is by closing over the series of the candles that made them. So like right here, when we can't close over that level and then we form a swing, this is bearish to me. So then like this is why if I just go to my indicator really quick, you'll see my indicator will just print out this box on this day. And essentially it's just saying for this day I'm bearish and
Right.
I'm ideally wanting to short in these highs, right? Or once we go lower, like this is similar to Bitcoin, go lower, I wanted to short this continuation into these lows. So then if I go to a lower time frame, I just repeat the same thing over and over and over. We can go to like a 15 maybe, right? We form a swing here, move lower, and then just continuation. So I just try to sell these boxes. So that's why like if we go to MBT, the short I took, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
just selling this box essentially, and then as a continuation. So,
Got it. Right.
but yeah,
And give would have been a much better trade, which is like
yeah. But it's for the
fumble.
love of
Yeah.
the game, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. we're talking about crypto. I was like, I gotta trade it or something,
Yeah.
you know? So,
Like what happens with Bitcoin is like if it starts to like roll down here, I believe that as
hmm
long as if it doesn't give, I believe the reaction to be already done the way it, like just ramped up here. If you don't like get
yeah,
that sort of reaction of the low of your POI again and like a grind into it, that would be my trigger for the
yeah,
trade. If you do not get
yeah.
that, we
So
are
essentially
likely to
this.
go much lower. Probably sweep the every low that we have on the
It'll
higher
go.
time for now. But that's if you go to like the daily or the four
Yeah,
hour,
well, yeah, these lows.
yeah. And if you go to the 1 minute or the 3 minute, that would have been like a much like just continuation shorts the way it like rejected here,
Yeah.
and you just like
So
ape
like,
on to the highs, and then that's like again easy money. And now like you could TP
yeah,
around the low in case like just reverses and
in
gives you
case it
another higher
reverses,
low.
yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I like trade and look at pretty much all the time.
Yeah. So like for me on the way this is my indicator marking this out. So it just
Yeah,
basically says Ethereum didn't take out this high. And
yeah,
then, so that's just like a divergence. And then here we have that closure through. So when we retest that level, that's that point of interest for me to if we're going to continue lower,
yeah.
which, I'm out of my position
Uh,
now, so I don't really care, but
yeah. This is one more chart. About your indicator, you wanted to do a giveaway. Do you wanna like
yeah,
call out the
we
code
can, we can give
um
some away. Do you want to put the code in
in the
or
chat?
I sent
Yeah.
you the code in Zoom chat if you want to
Okay.
grab that.
Let me just like copy this real quick.
Okay,
I'm just gonna
I'm gonna
like
update the
yeah put this in the chat, and this is like indicator code. How do you access this like on
yeah,
TradingView?
so I mean you just go to my website and the indicator there. I
Yeah,
sent you a link. And you just do the monthly one, and if you use that code, the first 5 people, you just get it for free, and then it sends you into like Whop. You just input your TradingView username, and it'll show up. So
that was pretty cool.
that's
Um,
it.
Taking a look at the current price real
I'm
quick.
gonna update Twitter real quick because I called this out on Twitter, so I should probably update them.
100%. Going back to let me just like open my screen.
Yeah, yeah, feel free.
If you want to see my screen, I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, give me one
Right.
second.
Going back to the higher time frame and our usual lower time frame chart. Let me just see if there's any question in the chat. If you guys have any questions, just type them in the chat. Um, oh, Wit ask, how do you know each other? Just Twitter. Yeah,
Twitter?
Twitter. We just know each other from Twitter. And
Yeah,
then like we wanted to do a video together for a very long time, but like I
yeah,
was
it's
I
just
was
been a
traveling
minute.
back in the day. I was very busy, so we just never got the time to like get a matchup. And then when both of us had time, we like had to do a stream together. I guess that was last year probably.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
we were we
Yeah.
were busy.
Yeah.
I think
Um,
we were both traveling, so it was just
it just yeah, it
yeah,
just didn't end up happening, but it's
stuff.
now done. Hey T, when face reveal? That's crazy.
Uh,
Do you wanna dox? What do you think about like doxing on
no,
Twitter?
I'm
Is this
docs. I don't know. I'm not on Twitter, but I'm
uh
gonna do it this month, actually.
that's crazy. Cause like I feel like the field that we are trading in, it doesn't require your face, or maybe it does. I'm not sure because I personally am not
For
doxed.
me, it's like I know what your face looks like, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm just
What
kidding.
yeah.
I do some streams on Ninja Trader, and they just want my face, and like I don't know. I kind of want to make some like travel stuff and do all that anyways. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah,
Probably do it.
for me, for someone like me that's trading solely in crypto and trading with investors and stuff, I believe the face doesn't add value to like your overall skills. I would like for people to know me for my skills and the way I post and the way I trade, rather than the way I am really. So I don't think I'll be doxing anytime soon. That's something that I personally view it in that regards.
Yeah, which is respectable.
Yeah.
So
There was a question in the chat. opinion on BTC, if there is one sweep of any high, is that enough for you to trust that high and trade lower? Okay. For BTC, I guess like if you're looking for a sweep, it shouldn't really go and sweep it again. Yeah, so one sweep should be enough. What I personally look for all the time, something that I put a lot of emphasis on again, is like the follow up on that sweep, the follow up on the trade. Whenever I'm taking an entry, whenever there's a reaction to anything, maybe a POI or maybe a sweep as well, I put more emphasis on whatever the reaction and the follow up is. Then, well, sorry, I put more emphasis on the follow up than I put on the reaction, because the follow up is like what decides like if it will continue to break down the low or if it will like hold and reverse on me. Because most of the time it does, which is like very common for especially BTC, very PvP pair. Even right here, like it like if you like took a short right here, according to like the highs, because like the trend is like overall down, and you did not like focus on the reaction follow up, and the follow up would have been if you like started to grind down right here, that would have been the actual trade. That would have probably when led price lower to here or maybe even much lower here. So if you don't get that sort of follow up, then I believe you want to like just exit or partial out of the trade. Like the way you could have partially exited the trade, and yeah, it just held lows, and now it's like pretty much like scamming up. And looking at the current price, I believe it to be. This is just like usual. What day is it? Thursday shenanigans. Usually Thursday we reverse. We call Thursday to be like a reversal, turnaround Thursday. And looking at this, if I see like grind into these highs, I'd be willing to trade that back up into like this FEG right here. Besides that, I'm not really interested because I have longs running from prior days. Had a short around from here just before we like started the meeting. That's something that I have closed. I haven't really closed out pretty much all of it, but I close it out the moment we like strike up into this high. You can take partial. I'm not sure what like everybody's position into and what everybody's bias is. You can drop that in the chat and I'll let you know. I have a question for you, T. T, when do you prefer to
Yeah.
enter prior to 930? What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, so their question is about like if for instance if you go take a look at NASDAQ. Um,
Um,
yeah, I'm
it's,
gonna stop screen sharing.
yeah, I'm not
Or do you want me to
sure.
screen share? Do you want me to screen share?
You can screen share. Yeah, I'm not sure why my chart trading view isn't working. I have a lot
Okay.
of people that have access to my Exo and my trading view account. Maybe that's why, because like
Maybe
I'm
that
just
would be
just
why.
doing illegal stuff in the
Um,
background. Yeah,
so here's the main thing with something like NASDAQ is if you have an area that you expect to hold prior to the open, right?
yeah,
That's the most simple way to put it. So before 9:30, so 9:30 is essentially when the stock market opens. So if you go to QQQ,
yeah,
that's when 9:30 all the stock market opens. So there's a
yeah,
lot of volume coming in right here.
yeah.
So for instance, if you're wanting to enter, you want to have some sort of invalidation prior to 9:30. So for instance, going into 9:30 here, you could expect this high to remain if
Wait,
we're
let
going to
me see.
continue this trend lower,
Okay,
right?
right.
So here, it's like you could enter before 9:30, but you need to have your invalidation here. Let me just mark it out. Like if you're entering somewhere in here, you need to have your invalidation somewhere in there to trade this lower. If you want to wait for after 9:30, then you just need a new invalidation, which it closes below and gives that. So then you can just enter that
Got
with
it.
your stop there.
Have you taken a look at Bitcoin?
Not since I exited.
Yeah, just take a look at
I did.
Bitcoin right now.
Yo, I got a fire exit,
Yeah,
hey?
yeah.
I exited right here.
That's how crazy it is. The chart overall looks bearish as fuck, and then randomly out of nowhere there's a low hold, and the entire dynamic just changes, like blast through. This is why I didn't really close out my longs, even though like there was some guy in the chat. Shini, close your longs before you can't anymore. But this is the reason I didn't really close my lungs, because the moment there is like even a bit of like hesitancy into the chart, especially related to
Yeah.
these coins, they just like boom, they prove
Bro, and
by their
we were
like scam coins
we were
retarded.
talking about
Yeah,
it too right there. Just the
yeah,
low holding. Bro, and that's the thing is like this is the same, like this low holding is that same point of interest we were talking about on the other time frames. Like it's just that lower time frame order block there, like
Yeah.
on a 15 second or something. Right? It's
Even
just that
if you
level,
take a if you take
50% of
a
that.
yeah, if you keep it right here, if you take a look at the way like price is developing right now,
Yeah. So you
it's like
have
yeah,
the
it's
slow grind like you were talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. I would just like usually I would just like ape onto these as well if I wasn't on the stream. This is like a very clean bottom structure for me. I just like
Mm.
usually ape onto this. If I miss the trade, I'll just like ape onto whatever the grind is
Into a trend
doing. Yeah,
continuation.
and the way like it's developing on the very lower time frame, probably like sweep, and then if it starts to like
So
go higher,
question
just
on that.
ape onto that.
Um, when you're saying ape into that, like, are you gonna take something like this, or where are you gonna put your invalidation if you do
Right.
that? Like for
Um.
me, if I was gonna take that, like, I need some sort of low to form
Yeah.
to then I can
Yeah.
do that.
Usually I look for some structure like this. So let's just say there's a reaction. I'll ape onto like trade, and then I look for a low to hold. But if it's
Gotcha.
but if it's like
So
something that is even more volatile-ish, is like not even giving that sort of like microstructure, because this is on the 15 second. This is like seconds game now. You won't
oh
even
yeah,
like
yeah.
recognize on 3 minute whatever is going. It would look just like candles to you.
A candle, yeah.
Yeah. And if it looks like just candles, even on the 1 minute chart, usually it's very specific. It's this is not a proper example, but what it does look like, it's like there's a very but there seems to be a higher low on the very lower time frame where
Yeah, I
you
see
can
what you mean.
recognize. So it's like a
It'd be
very
like
grindy structure. Um,
you
yeah,
would
yeah,
ape
100%.
something
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it's
something
like
like this.
this and then
This example
that,
right here.
or
Yeah.
because
So
this
the
is a slow grind on the one
yeah, very
second.
lower time frame. Yeah, this is sort
Yeah,
of a
like
representation of the orders in the TVAP. Yeah,
yeah, you
that's
would
pretty
be
yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
yeah.
But this seems to work very well, especially on BDC. It's where
Yeah.
I mostly look to like add on to trades. If you take a look at this specific level right here, I was telling you about like we were gonna hold the low, and then let's just say I didn't take the trade on the holding of the low. I would definitely take a trade the moment it starts like form multiple lows.
Breaking.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
try to break up. That's something that I
See,
would look to like just get into.
that's it.
And
It's crazy. It's crazy because it's just the opposite of like how I would approach futures on Nasdaq. Like if Nasdaq forms, I'm just gonna move the chart up. So if Nasdaq forms this kind of slow grind up, bro, it'll do this. It'll be like that. Because it will just take all these early longs, stop them out, and then form that.
that's crazy
Like
because
I don't know if I can.
because for me
Let's see if I
this is
can.
like very important. And what I see here as like an order flow trader as well is like, okay, there's a lot of like shorts that or sells that were going on in the market, but the momentum for the shorts eventually just like fades out, and then it starts to like form range, choppish range. So from going down all the way down, it like stops out, pretty much goes neutral, and then there's suddenly a hit into the bids that looks something like this, and then
Yeah,
eventually like breaks higher. So this is like how I like
it's
seem it
crazy.
to trade most of the time.
Yeah,
It's
like I mean, if we go to let's go to Nasdaq. It's so funny. I'm like, yo, Nasdaq doesn't do this, and what does
yeah.
it do right here? It just slow grind up. But no, most of the time it's like that's a nice reaction there. I don't know if anyone's watching Nasdaq. It should probably, let's see. What's today? Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday, yeah.
Did it run out? Let's see.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the trade, but I didn't take the trade, guys. Like this is what I was telling you about. I'm talking about on my chart. So we get a slow grind here. You just ape onto the trade, and you just like, the trade was supposed to be something like this, but we didn't. The reaction was very volatile. It was supposed to be something like this, but it just like went crazy. Even right now, if it like starts to grind into this high right here, I'd hope and expect this to go and take out this specific high. That could be a trade that would be well developed and forming as well. Probably above this X that I've marked right here. Yeah, you can
See,
go and
this is
see.
it's very interesting to me because like this is quite different than how I trade, but like I think it's based on the asset
Yeah,
because I feel like if I was to trade Bitcoin, I would have to adapt to something more similar because of how its structure forms
yeah. Um,
versus on Nasdaq and these other metals, commodities. It's it's different.
I have an example that I could probably show you how like this worked out. Let me just like
Yeah,
look up my. I'm not sure where I can find it, but I have a tweet, sort of a day where I just like kept aping into like trade. Let me just like pull it up
like
from
a
like
long.
YouTube real quick.
I might
Yeah,
have seen it or something.
that was supposed to be like a 12-hour in a day sort of video. I'm just gonna pull it up real quick.
Bro, I had the most insane trade lined up yesterday and it stopped me break even before it went 50R and I was like actually planning to hold there,
It's
which is
crazy.
an L.
Um, I could like just show this real quick.
Someone
That
asked
it's gonna
about
be
while
like
you're
a
looking for that.
decent case study as well. Can you just see my screen real quick?
Yeah,
I can
I'm
show
looking at
you.
it on the kick or
Let me just show
Twitch.
it. Yeah, let me just show it on my screen. This was supposed to be like my day that like went on. If you can see my screen,
Yeah, I can.
right? So this was supposed
Oh
to be
yeah,
like
Dan, I see. So
yeah,
you're
they
just riding a trend.
just ape into the trend, and I pretty much like explained like how that happened and how I like aped onto the trades. So if you see like the graph, I'm not sure why my internet is fucking
Yeah,
up.
it fails to form a
Yeah,
reversal
it's
at your
if you
point of
see like
interest, so you just go the other way.
yeah, specific level right here, and then there's like a sudden low holds right here. The way it just like did. So basically, there's momentum for cells that just keeps price down, and then eventually the momentum dies out in a way that the holds are held and respected, and the trend pretty much shifts into like this angle, and then it like just plots up, right? And the way I trade continuation is that the moment I see that sort of like TVAP happening, after like even after a rejection, I just like ape onto the trade, and my invalidation is usually the higher low, and then the way the trade itself develops is just like something that
So you have
I
pretty tight risk there then
yeah, it's
in terms of getting in
mostly
the
like
trend.
for yeah, mostly for very volatile trades like this. That's the only time that I really ape onto stuff like this. Yeah, but that's how I would like take my trades, and they just like ape into momentum, because momentum is something that is derived by the market itself.
Yeah.
Even right now, if you take a look at this chart right here, okay, the trade that I was discussing, I don't think you saw my screen. The trade was like,
Yeah,
if
I
I
did see
like
it.
get into this like grind here, just like aim for this high. And currently, if I remark whatever I have on the chart and just lay out what I am looking for, let me delete this as well. What I would be looking for right now on the chart would be this looks like it's going all the way down right here, and if it grinds right here, that could be a short to here, and then like we could pump much higher. Or if it like starts to grind up right here, I would be looking to like take a long all the way up to the upper and the higher POI, just based on momentum. But this would be a short that I would take as well. Just ape into the short, put my stops on the higher low, uh, look for a TP all the way back down to the higher low here, and this is how like I base my trades, because I'm just gonna explain what's the reasoning for the short right here.
Yeah, you're trading within the range because it's more
Yeah,
likely to just stay range bound than
just based on the
expand it.
whatever the momentum is, like immediate shift in like of momentum is like if I mark out these like highs here. So basically we had like pretty volatile bullish momentum right here, but then eventually we got like to a high, we like took that high out, we got an SFP. I wouldn't really take that SFP trade, because what I believe, like if there's liquidity above a high that's just before a high as well, and base of momentum, we could like go
It
all the
doesn't matter,
way,
yeah.
yeah, we could go
Yeah,
all the way to the other high as well. So base of
I
the
agree.
rejection, I don't really take the trade, break structure here, and not really wouldn't really take a trade right away on the first break structure. Usually just scams you out, knowing BDC. On the second high hold right here, third high hold, and the way it develops right here, pretty much like slow grinds down here, is where I would just like ape onto a short trade, and the way it's developing right here, just like probably look to TP somewhere around this low high right here, and full TP would be something like this. So the trade would somewhat develop in a way where stops at the lower high and TP's at the first trouble area, probably you can say, and full TP at the extreme low is how I would like develop the trade and pretty much take it. It usually I get like very aggressive with the trade as well. I probably even ape the way I explained that it's gonna develop. I'd put my stops on like a minute lower high structure that's developing, and then just let the trade develop as well. But that becomes a bit very aggressive, and I don't like to share these trades because whenever I'm sharing a trade, I'm sharing a trade with the group as well. So like I don't know how
Yeah, it's
like
just more
others are,
difficult. Yeah.
yeah, others are like managing the risk, because if you take a trade on chase limit, your fees are
You got to
like
be lower
less,
size.
yeah. And knowing BDC, you need at least like a move of like 0.2% to be profitable at least, right? If you're a VIP, you have very less fees, then you can like just take profitability at like 0.15% or 0.1% as well. But I'm expecting like a lot of people are not VIPs on exchanges, so it's why I like rarely share these aggressive trades. I definitely add on like this is setup that is like very profitable. Like you take the trade the moment like the momentum, because this sort of volatility, it's not there the entire day. It's like barely there sometimes, and not even there most of the times, right? So whenever there is, I have to utilize this to the max, and then I take a trade base off of this, and then you can see this, it just develops into the trade, and then like you go all the way to your full POI, and then it just plays out. The market itself plays out. I don't even
Yeah.
have to do anything here. Just hop onto the trend, and this is like what I talk about, adding to like profitable and potential trades that actually will work out. Here is the way you are going to like grind up your account. If you don't add to like profitable trades, you're gonna add to like losing trades, and then you're just gonna like end up in a losing streak. Mo the Pro asks thoughts on zero fees on Lighter. Lighter is pretty good. I think Lighter went down for like 15 minutes. Lighter is for TT, who I'm not sure if you know. Lighter is supposed to be like a DEX, but it's supposed to be like an exchange as well. So Lighter went
Hmm.
down for a few minutes. But Lighter is pretty good. Fees are very low. You can trade on Lighter or Hyperliquid as well. Um, Kamil said Pacini plays even after player out. Yeah, I will make sure to like share these trades for education purposes. DY asked, "Hey T, if you were to participate in your longs, how would you have entered starting from daily, please?" Your longs, yeah, like
I mean, I
current.
can share my screen if you
Yeah,
want.
sure. Um, yep.
Let me know.
Yeah, I can see your
All right,
screen.
so I talked about this well on my stream earlier this week. I'm bearish on the dollar. Um, and I don't really care about this, right? Expansion, it just consolidates. It can't make any bullish reaction here, so it's just going to continue lower. And so you then have to ask yourself, is euro or pound stronger? And it's pretty obvious to see that, you know, if you take a look at pound, it's reaching into this low,
Yeah,
this Friday low. Euro is not. And so then all I would be looking for is like the way I trade this is you can use more advanced techniques and whatnot. But all I'm looking for is this previous day's range, 50% of it. If price is gonna continue higher, and maybe this is similar to your approach, is if price is gonna expand, it's not gonna just like dump, right? And then go back up. Like it should just remain pretty bullish. So if price is gonna continue to expand into today, right? I would just be using this range right here. And then what I want to look for and see is, price open up into a point of interest. So if you know, it opens here, reaches into, takes out a low into an imbalance, right? And the main thing for this and me is sweeps out this low here. It holds
yeah,
this level. So that once it holds this low, right, and has a reaction, you can expect that this daily wick should form in here, and then you would want to be able to trade it out of here. Now, actually trading this into London here would be a bit more advanced, but it's just because pound took out the low, you euro didn't, and then you can just come in here with a lower time frame, like a 15 minute, something like that.
yeah,
Once we form a low, right, then you're just gonna hop on, get on side with this with your stop in here, and then you know. Something like this. And then you can just hold this into the New York session, essentially, because you expect if this higher time frame candle is going to expand, because you're in this higher time frame candle period, it should expand around and through uh, until around 5. So
got it.
that's how I would approach it. So
Your usual time frame, do you just keep it at like 15 minutes? Do you ever like just keep it to like
I'll
3 minutes, 5 minutes, or
yeah, so I don't really go much below 3 minute. I will
okay.
occasionally like yesterday I can just go over really quick the trade I was watching at yesterday. Um, wait, let's go to the daily. So like for instance, I was looking, we have this momentum here and we hadn't taken out this high, so it's pretty reasonable to see that this day should go higher. And then going in before the New York session, uh, right? There you can look at the other assets. This is the strongest one,
Yeah.
right? And it's just moving higher while the other assets were going lower. So then all I was looking for was this hourly candle to just basically explode. So I went like that. And then let me rewind. This is when I went down to the 1 minute and I actually did use my model on the 15 minute and 1 minute, um, which is essentially when I'm in here, right? You'll see here's that sweep closure. I'm looking to buy in this area to run higher. Um, how I look at it is this formed a protected swing. So I'm expecting this low to remain if we're going to trend higher. And so then when price came back into this area, I just bought it with my stop here. And then my plan is that higher time frame level that I was looking at, which is up here, hold to that. And then if this is going to expand at 9:30, it's going to expand until 10. So then just holding runners until 10. It took out this high. That's when I went break even because if it's going to return here, I don't really want to be in it anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and then, it came and stopped me out break even. And then obviously just fucking sent. But if you hold that until 10, I talked about this because I'm expecting the hourly to be an expansion candle and the 30-minute to be expansion candle. You can just hold this till 10 and then right as 10 opens, that's when you exit. So it just can exit here.
Got it.
So that's the trade that I got stopped out of, but it was like 50R or so if it would have worked. But just got that little retracement.
Crazy.
So yeah. So it's like we have a different approach, but I can see similarities within it. Like I can understand the uh when it makes I just call it a failure swing, right? Because it fails to run out this previous.
Yeah.
I understand like you trading or hopping on side with that based off of it's just bullish, right? Because it can't run out this low.
True.
So, but yeah,
True.
pretty interesting. You want to do the giveaway? I do need to I have some stuff I gotta do today, so
Yeah,
I
I need
gotta
to
eat some
go as
breakfast here
well.
soon.
Yeah, I need to go hit the
But we
gym as
can,
well. I have dropped the link in the chat, and yeah, for guys that want access to the indicator by my guy T over here, just like go over this link and then put in Shini as code. I guess that's it.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
for 5 people, so the first
yeah,
5 people
first
that
5 people will
get
just get
it,
the code for free and just ball with it.
yeah.
Yeah. Um.
It's just a continuation indicator. So like if we go back to, Bitcoin here on the 5 minute
Yeah.
or the 15, right? Like it's just well, actually we'll go to NQ. It's so much easier, right? It's just all it is it's like it lets the reversal form and then it shows me where I want to be looking for a continuation. It's really the whole idea. So like,
Got it.
yeah, that's it. So like this was pretty easy this week. It's like reversal forms,
Yeah.
sweep,
Which code
protected
again?
swing, and then
Shini is the code.
yeah, all caps. I don't know if it matters, but
Yeah, Shini or
SHINN.
Shini.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Taking just final calls for the BDC. So far, I believe
yeah.
like this is likely to go much higher the way it is developed. And if you
Are you
take a
sharing
look,
your screen? Oh yeah, you are.
let me just share my screen
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
you are. You are. You are.
Okay. Just taking a look at BDC. It's likely that it goes like the way it develops. If it develops even in the middle, usually when it like spikes high and low. Okay. Okay, my trading view just may have like no. Okay, so if it like spikes high and low, what happens like right in the middle, if it starts to like grind either into the one direction, and most of the time the spike this specific spike usually happens after a New York session. This is like usual New York shenanigans, and if you see like a grind up or a grind down, even in the middle, it's a trade that you want to trade take as there's momentum into that specific direction. As the liquidity that wanted to be taken, the people that wanted to be faded have already been faded out, and you want to trade continuation to whatever direction you're getting. The scam has already been done. Make sure you don't get scammed anymore. One more question, like, does T have a tutorial how he has set up all the trading features like chart splitting? I think Kane does it as well. T.
Um, I think you might be talking about the templates. So for instance, I have my indicator set up a few different ways, and then you can just save them as a template on the top, the little four boxes.
Right.
You can save that as a template, star them, and then that allows me to just like switch between indicator templates. So like if I don't want to see anything on my screen, I don't have to,
Got it.
or I can load in my indicator, and I don't ever have to like actually load in an indicator or do anything.
Got it.
So
One more question. How do you enter higher low in a lower time frame? Grind up. That's probably a question for me. And how do you enter higher low in lower time frame in a slow grind up? That is gonna be like entry models. That's a bit more in detail, but I guess we can talk about that later on in some other session. I definitely did try explaining it today, but by replay, it's gonna be much better how you can like observe the candles. But I guess me and T have to go, and we'll continue on our discussion sometimes else.
yeah,
Thank you so much, T, for
we can
joining
do
the
it another
call.
time.
Yeah, it was a great session. Love to know how you trade. I hope you did so for me as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I will have to look into some more of that. I think I read a graphic of yours on the volume profile and like the acceptance into the range, trade to the other side of the range, that type of
Yeah,
stuff. But that's it's interesting. I mean, I don't personally use it, but I could see some of the structure and point of interest stuff line up. So
yeah. Thank you guys
sweet.
for joining the session, and hope we can do another stream later on. I'll see everybody later. Again, thank you T for joining, and for the indicator, you can definitely like text T, and yep. See you guys later. Just don't
Yeah.
fumble the scam right here. It's likely going up the way I explained it. Yeah, just don't get scammed. See you guys later. Thank you so much. See you.
See you guys.
Oh my god. There we go. I guess that's the stream done. Thank you so much, T,
That's
for
it.
joining.
Yeah, bro.
Really appreciate you joining. And
Sick.
really good talk. I guess we should have done this
Yeah.
before sooner.
Yeah, bro. We can do it another time.
Yeah, 100%.
It kind of actually sniped that exit on the Bitcoin
Yeah,
short.
that was pretty cool actually. Played out real time, real. I,
Like,
I was I
yeah,
was
wait,
hoping
let's
to
see.
enter a trade myself, but like it just when you were explaining, it's hard to like just type in orders and stuff, and man, it just the
Yeah,
shit is slow.
bro. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Like I would have not taken anything if I didn't have already taken
Yeah. I
something.
mean, I
Like
mean,
I was legit just managing it.
Yeah, I mean, we got like some stuff
Like
right. Like the short that was developing was very good,
yeah,
on point, long as well.
like that was
But I would have executed that if I wasn't just yapping all the time for it. But I guess that's
yeah.
session well done. If I have clips made
Yeah.
from this session, I'll just transfer and forward them to you.
Yeah, do whatever,
And
bro.
yeah, that'd be very cool. Thank you so much for joining.
So
I'll see you sometimes, LT. Take care.
yeah, have a good one, bro.
Goodbye.
I'll link up if we're ever in Asia or some shit.
Yeah, for sure. See
All
you,
right.
brother.
See you, bro.